advantage. What do you do if you're the Red Raiders? One at a time, but
I don't know. I don't know. Here you go. 60, 51, 51, 45, 42. That's how many points Texas has scored in their games. Ohio State held them to 25. 31 points in the first half.
Unbelievable. They only had 2 third downs.
Two third downs.
And remember now, the Red Raiders, they took the ball after winning the opening coin flip. And so here to start the second half, the Horns will have the first possession.
Wait, let me say that one more time. 2 third downs and 31 points.
You know, Gary, that second quarter punt block was Texas' 35th block kick since 2000. And this one will come out on the 20. What's out of whack here as we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary from the first half, and there you can see over 500 yards of offense.
Yeah, you can see it, and we talked about this. 1 for 2 on third downs for Texas. The team that has 31 points, but out of whack for Texas Tech is they put a lot of yards up there, but they did not transfer it to points, and that's because they made mistakes when they got into situations to do it.
So 1st and 10 for Vince Young. Selvin Young. Big hole, and Selvin enjoying perhaps his best game since that knee surgery of a year ago. And Jack, is Mac nervous about this second half?
Well, a little bit, Brent. And what he talked to his team about is something that Gary Danielson doesn't believe in, about momentum. He said he spent a lot of time talking about the momentum, and he said what he was going to do is what we're about to see. He's going to go to a no-huddle, try to use it in this quarter, because he said that's what got the momentum for us.
Well, it's interesting. Pick up that tempo a little bit. 2nd down. Selvin tries to stretch it out, and the Red Raiders were ready defensively. Cherry, number 84, makes the stop.
There we go. We finally, out of whack stat. 54 plays, 10 points, 31 plays, 30. That's nice. And Brent, I believe in momentum. The Titanic was in momentum when it hit that iceberg. Couldn't stop. I'll tell you what I do believe in. Number 10. You have that guy, you have a chance of having good momentum on your football team. Don't push me after the move.
3rd down and 5. Charles slips out as a receiver. Young's got a wide open touchdown. Pittman to the end zone. Won't get him. 75 yards. The route is underway. The run for the Roses is in full flower here in Austin.
When you can flick a ball like this 40 yards downfield, basically like handing off the baton on a track meet, and you have that many sprinters for Texas, this sheriff for Texas is some quarterback.
Indeed he is. Making it 37-10.
I hate to say it, but Vince was given the Heisman pose as he came to the sideline.
Pino
just kind of flicks it off, releases that back leg through his throw, sees Pittman, and he just knows it's a touchdown, and then he just looks up his teammates and said, big fella.
That offensive line, Blaylock, number 63, helping out. 8-point advantage for Texas with 13:41 to go against previously undefeated Texas Tech. They still have 2 big ones at home coming up against Texas A&M and Oklahoma. It's coming out on the 20, but right now they're not impressing anybody because of what Vince Young is doing.
Yeah, he really did. He rifled this pass, and he just knew it was so good. And then right when he came to the sideline, he gave the little Heisman. Once he got to the sideline, there it is. He's in the run. You know, now it's interesting who the Heisman goes to. There's different ways to vote. What about most valuable player in college football? I think you got to make a strong case for Vince Young as the most valuable football player in the country.
Reggie Bush is pretty valuable.
Matt Leinart, I think that's a good stars there too, I think.
Up firing and right away. Brown hits the receiver after a 5-yard gain. There is one little interesting sidebar to the little bit of tomfoolery there with the Heisman pose. There are some people who would not admit it, and they're big Longhorn fans, and they're pulling for USC to capture the Heisman so that they can tell Vince Young, you make sure you come back here your senior season and get that Heisman. Because Mack Brown's biggest recruiting job of the next half season is going to be convincing Vince, and I know he said he's coming back to school, but convincing him not to listen to the sweet whispers from the agents, because I'm here to tell you, they're coming. Anybody who is that athletically gifted, stands 6'5", can run, enjoys competing, shrugs things off, liked by his teammates. There's nothing that you don't like about Vince Young, except experience, obviously, at the NFL level. He'll have a very interesting decision to make. In underneath for a 1st and 10. And Robert Johnson with another catch.
All right, what do you got to do if you're Texas Tech here now? I think you just run your offense. You say, okay, we're not going to win this game this series. We're not going to win the game next series. We just got to plug away, run our offense, look up at the end of the game and just say, listen, we competed the whole football game. Maybe in the 4th quarter you have a chance to get it within 14. But right now you concentrate on plays, not score.
Three receivers off to the right, using Henderson, the running back, and Henderson right at the 1st and 10 marker, checking in on what Henderson has done here today. Carried a dozen times from scrimmage. He's also caught 5 passes, including 1 for a touchdown. Good-looking football player, and that's a 1st down.
You know, we came out with Mike Leach at the end of the half saying we got to learn how to punt the ball. I don't think they're going to punt it anymore in this football game. I think barring a 4th and very, very long, they're going for it.
Toss to Henderson. Cuts it to the 42-yard line. But, you know, I told you that the punt that was blocked in the 1st half was the 35th block kick since 2000. Now, Texas is 2nd in the nation. You want to guess who's number 1?
Yeah, we had that. And let me think now. We had that. It's not Virginia Tech.
No, they are 3rd.
I'll say
Tech's 3rd.
Miami.
Good guess, but it's North Carolina State.
Well, you know, it's funny you said that.
Quick flip, and hitting big number 33, Olamua. And John, what's going on with the Big Ten? My partner's alma mater, a very disappointing team, and there's a disappointing receiver. He should have held it. He dropped that ball, which would have been a certain 1st and 10 on.
Danny Amendola that time wasn't looking for the ball. He thought he was going to come across the formation and get it. He wasn't even looking. Look, it was on him before he even looked back. Hit him right in the face mask. And that's that miscommunication that the Texas defense is trying to give the Tech offense, so you're not sure what to do.
No punt here. Just as you predicted. 1st down. Across the 35-yard line with that throw. You know, Greg Davis is up here getting ready for Vince Young and the Texas offense. Gene Chizik, he's in the booth.
He was going to try to go to the flat route that time, but Killebrew that time was the one to put the hit on him, and he waited until the last second again. He got hit hard on that one.
Johnson and Cody Hodges. Let's take a close look at the young man. Scared of snakes. Somebody named Cody. Now, come on, Cody. There's a flag before the snap. So they're going to be whistled for their ninth.
How can your 2 favorite movies be so widely varied? They're not even in the same.
Broad-minded young man.
They're not even in the same aisle. Are they when you go shopping?
Number
those
62
two.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Still 2nd down.
He's a senior out of Hereford, Texas. The backup, Graham Harrell, a redshirt freshman, is from Ennis, Texas, and of course he'll be slipping into that spot next year for Coach Leach. Second down for Cody and the Red Raiders. Trying to get one on the board here quickly in the second half. And that time, number 20 hangs on to the football.
And so does Michael Huff, hang on the play. That's what you do as a DB. Tackling is paramount. They're going to hit some, but you can't let them catch the ball and have yards after the catch, and that's what happened right there. Huff, no yards after that catch.
So the Twins are on the field together right now. Marcus, 26, and Michaels, 27. There are 3 Griffins, and number 8, Cedric Griffin, not related to the Twins. Hodges on third down. Amendola, the receivers out wide to the left. They cross. Hicks comes free in the middle. Got it first and 10. And still one to the 15-yard line. That's an interesting little crossing pattern as they rub the defenders off on that.
They do it all game. You can kind of recognize the plays. In practice the other day for Texas on Thursday, stood right behind them and watched about 30 plays, and these crossing routes by the scout team that was emulating Texas Tech were running these crossing routes all day. 2 guys cross, you hit it, the quick guys. That time the tackle was not done very well, and that's those extra yards that this offense can produce.
Amendola's off to the right with Johnson, and Hicks is singled down to the left. Timeout. Cody Hodges called timeout as the clock was winding down on him as he was changing it up at the line of scrimmage. He'll go over and talk to his coach, Mike Leach, who was raised in Cody, Wyoming.
Yes, and remember, in that also is the wide receiver screens and the screens inside to Henderson, so that's what you have to have. You have to be able to catch the ball and run. Not a lot of deep throws in this offense for Tech.
Drops it off to Henderson. Out at the 10-yard line. Second down and short. Well, Monday night, the Atlanta Falcons hoping to wind up in the playoffs, and the New York Jets hoping to regroup with Vinny Testaverde. Vinny, of course, he had a spell down with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Came back after the injury to Chad Pennington in New York. But thinking of Tampa Bay and another Longhorn, Chris Sims, be taken over. They're off this week. They do not have to worry about the hurricane. They do not have a game on Sunday. And here's Henderson stepping to the right. Got a first down. It'll be first and goal. USC really pouring it on, huh, John? Find yourself when you're looking at Texas or USC, you really find yourself hoping that those two teams come together in the Rose Bowl. It would be some matchup. Right now it's first and goal. Incomplete.
Hodges
intended for Polani.
Hodges bobbled that football, and that's what threw off the timing on the quick screen.
So we're at the top of the hour. 2 unbeatens, and one of them in serious trouble. Texas Tech trailing Texas 38-10 with Jack Arute and Gary Danielson. I'm Brett Musburger here in Austin, Texas, on an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day. You know, one of the things that I think is overlooked, Gary, probably has not received enough credit for putting the show on the road here, is the athletic director of Texas, DeLoss Dodds. What a great all-around athletic program. Not just football, but basketball under Rick Barnes, women's basketball. Here the horn defense hits Cody. Touchdown! Polani comes free at the last moment over there. Joel Polani, the junior from Phoenix, for the score.
Hodges buys a little time on this play. He knows they're coming after him. Texas tried to attack the gaps. Then the last second with Killebrew in there, he just gives ground and then throws it out to the outside.
Now, you do not think that it's a change of momentum, right?
Well, I don't know. Texas, I thought, had the momentum. How could Texas Tech have scored if the other team had the momentum? I don't get it. What are you supposed to do, give up? The other team has the momentum?
Trelika, the extra point. Momentum, folks, will be the football in Vince Young's right hand.
Got it.
When
That's
you
what I
come
think.
back. It's his turn again after the kickoff return. Team takes care of a little business here. We'll see number 10 back on the field. So certainly around the country, all those straw polls and everything, they've got him one of the three favorites. I don't think there's much question but that Reggie Bush of USC has opened up a lead. Ball is juggled down there by Cosby. Regains control. And on the delay makes it all the way to the 34-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown, Gary.
Pass protection rules for Texas Tech is if there's a man inside of you, you block down. If you're the tackle, you block down. You force the outside guy to come in on the outside of the play. Watch it. Very simple rules. Center goes to his left. Everyone blocks down. You turn number 40, Killebrew, loose. You buy the time and make sure the quarterback gets rid of the ball. Cody Hodges is cramping up on the sidelines, and that's just one of many, many hits he's taken today. It kind of adds up.
There he is receiving treatment over on the far side. Young fires complete. And a first down as he puts it into Cosby's hands. And Jack, it appears to be nothing more serious than cramps, right?
Well, but cramps can be serious in this kind of heat, Brent, especially this early in the second half. What's happened is both of Cody's calves have cramped up. Now, they tried to get some fluids like Pedialyte into his body, but so far they're really having to work a lot harder. Trainers tell me that in this 70-degree-plus heat, cramps are hard to escape.
First down and 10. Doesn't seem like it's been that hot out today. As Vince keeps it for a first down to the 40-yard line.
That's the read. That's the zone read played. Vince Young has been very, very patient, not forcing the keep on this. He has the option of handing this ball off to the running back, Charles, on this play, or keeping it and running the opposite direction. That time he saw it, took it, and showed why he's so tough to defense.
Scott, Studdard, Sinline, Allen, Blaylock, the offensive line. A veteran group. A couple of seniors. Scott at that tackle spot. And we asked Jonathan Scott on whether Vince Young makes his job any different.
Vince is known to make plays. So, you know, Vince can be anywhere on the field. So I think he makes you a better player because you're going to have to work even harder. I mean, there's times where you're going to have to go downfield and block for him.
He'll be a very high draft choice. A very talented left tackle, 6'7". Great frame for a tackle. Second down. Charles, the freshman, trying to slash over behind him, and not much daylight that time. Jammed up pretty good by the Red Raiders, and it will move to third down.
One of the very few blitzes that Texas Tech has used in the game. That time they came with a 7-man blitz, and it worked.
Time permitting, the thrifty car rental postgame report. Man, you say time permitting with the Texas Tech game.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. This is the fourth third down play of the game for Texas. They're 2 for 3. Well, they've only had two successful third downs all game, Brent. That's all they've done.
Amazing, isn't it? And they got 38 points on the scoreboard. Middle first down, Taylor.
Oh, come on. This
Knocking
guy
on the door of the red zone. Got it right there at the 20.
Vince Young is just playing at too high of a level. He's actually too good for college football right now. He just has all the ability to do all the different things. I don't know if the college defense
does not want you to
I don't
say
work
that.
for Mac Brown. That was as good a throw as you could make, and he's made about 15 of them in his football game.
Jack, a little war of attrition going on down there. Huh?
Well, yeah, Brent, you know, you were questioning with the mid-70 degrees why guys are falling to cramps. Well, all of a sudden now Aaron Harris on the Texas side has dropped to dehydration. They have taken him into the locker room. You know, that usually means putting fluids intravenously into him. I think one of the problems is there's not a lot of wind, and when the sun is shining down on the field, which it did throughout the first half and now on the Texas Tech Red Raiders sidelines, it feels is a lot hotter, and when you're giving your all out on the gridiron, it will sap your energy. I think it's one of the reasons why Texas tends to practice in that inflatable dome during the week, as we saw on Thursday.
Yeah, there's no question, Jack, that's why they do that. And you know, that far side, that's why they keep the visiting team over there, too. And here is our drive summary presented by Drive Insurance from Progressive. You can see following the field goal, those 2 picks, and then look at what has happened since.
You know what else that Texas hasn't done today? Haven't punted.
That is amazing.
You know, Mack Brown might be telling Vince he needs to come back, but every quarterback recruit in the country is telling him he's leaving.
Well, you know how I feel about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Running backs, I think, fine.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, stay in school. Hard to turn down that money.
You always put me on a spot like this. I'll turn the tables. If somebody was going to give him 40,
just try.
If somebody was going to give him $40 million as a number 1 or 2 draft pick in the draft, would you tell him to come back and work on his college game?
Who was the second pick this year in the draft? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I just know what quarterbacks make at the top of the draft, and it'll be $40 to $45 million.
Now, why did Matt Leinart come back?
Well, I have my theories on it, but he was injured. He had a bad elbow.
Maybe you'd like to share him with the audience, or you're going to keep him quiet, quarterback.
Well, I got to get out of the way of this play first.
And that's Selvin Young. And still battling. What a performance today by Selvin Young. 2 touchdowns. Putting 70 up on the board. This is just a great performance by the veteran coming off that major surgery we spoke about.
And what a great call by Mack Brown to start him. We discussed this with Mack Brown as you watch Selvin Young on right side of your screen, number 22, right over there. Going to run, get hit, and spin. And we said, are you going to go back to Charles? He's had such a great breakout time for you. He says, hey, what am I going to do? Selvin has practiced hard. He's been ready to play. If I start Charles, I may lose this kid. I want to play this kid first. I can always go to Charles. That's coaching.
Yeah, Mack runs his domain very well down here. No one in the country recruits any better. Of course, this is one of the most prolific football hotbeds in the United States down here in the state of Texas.
They threw a flag there at the end of that. There must have been some
jostling.
That
on the 10-yard line?
Yeah. Must have been some extracurriculars there after the timeout was called.
How many Division I players did Mack Brown say were in Texas?
He said there were over 300 Division I scholarship football players in the state of Texas last year. And, of course, he can only give 25 scholarships max. And what did he say to us? The other 275 mamas and daddies are mad at me.
And Texas Tech is exhausted its timeouts. They just used the last one with 5:32 to go in the third quarter. Wow. So Studdard has come on over to the sidelines.
After the timeout, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense and again on the defense. They offset. It's still third down after the timeout.
Timeout called by the Red Raiders. Texas inside the 15-yard line. A reminder that our college football is brought to you.
Answer to my question, huh? If he gets $45 million for be the first and second draft pick, you tell him to come back?
Well, if you can guarantee me that $40 million awaits 1 or 2.
Yes, that's what I'm guaranteeing. If he calls and says, yeah, you're 1 or 2 in the draft, what do you tell him to do?
If it's $40 million, you got to go.
Okay, we're in agreement here.
But if you stay 1 more year, you're a lock and a Heisman and a #1 and a big Nike contract and all that good stuff.
Yep, there you go.
Henry Melton. He scored a touchdown earlier. This time he picks up the first down. Make it first and goal. 38-17.
You know who hasn't been in the game so far is David Thomas, the tight end in this game so far. He's usually one of those guys they go to. He's in the football game, tight end, but has not gone to him all game.
Selvin Young. This time he lost yardage on the play. Big number 96, Deontay Dawson. And a reminder, Auburn LSU SEC over in Baton Rouge at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN, also in high definition.
You mentioned Kansas City Chiefs going the day of the game. LSU is going to travel the day, Auburn is going to travel the day of the game to play LSU in this football game because of the problems with Katrina and no hotel rooms there.
Second down. Freshman Charles back in the game.
Here's David Thomas right there, the tight end. He is usually a go-to guy, but so far in this football game, he has not gotten a pass even his way.
And threw on the other side of him. So Cosby was breaking it to the right, and Vince wanted him to come back in. Let me check. That was Billy Pittman over there.
Pittman was playing, it's called the wheel route. You get near the sideline, and then if you don't get the ball, you turn up. It's somewhat of a read. That time Pittman thought he didn't get the ball, so he turned up. Vince said, I still got more time to hit you on the first half of the wheel, and that's why the miscommunication.
Yeah, on that first spoke, they could have had him if he'd have
could
turned
have had him
out.
on the
He
spoke.
was wide open.
Could have had him on the spoke.
Let's see what Young and the Horns come
Very
up with
surprised they don't go to the tight end. Nobody in the middle of the football field.
So Vince says, I'll take the middle. Touchdown. What a weapon. Last 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns for Texas.
Well, sometimes take quarterbacks that scramble a lot with a little bit of a grain of salt. I mean, did you scramble when there was a play available and you just ran because you didn't know what you're doing? Vince Young knows what he's doing, and he scrambles when he has to. That's why he's the ultimate weapon right now in college football.
And the extra point is tacked on by David Pino. 45-17. We might be seeing Matt Nordgren at quarterback here pretty soon.
Yeah, and you can see it. He did not have anyone open. He would have had to force it. It wasn't run first. It was run last. And when he ran, he took it. And there was that late shot on his legs. And that would be the one thing that I would worry about if I was a confidant of Vince Young, and I'm not, is when you run like that, you put your career out there because you're going to get hit on your legs.
Now, they're the Longhorns' remaining schedule. Road trip to Oklahoma State. They've struggled a bit this year. Baylor, surprising at times. Kansas here in Austin would be their last home game. Then perhaps the trap game for them. That Thanksgiving weekend on a Friday. They go down to play their arch rival, Texas A&M. And, of course, that's one of those rivalry games in which all the cliches fit. Doesn't matter what the records are when those two teams play. And the Aggies would just love to spoil this run for the Roses.
And the Big 12 championship, it would be a humongous upset to lose to one of the Big 12 teams north.
Yeah, they beat any of those teams. They'd be at least 60-point favorites. Woods to the 25. Let's check in with John Santos' teams now with a chance to win the Big 12 North and wind up playing in the big game, the Big 12 championship game, which will be in Houston this year. First down and 10. And Cody Hodges is back on the field, as I suspected he would be. Dumps it off to Henderson. And down at the 30-yard line. And Gary, let's do the Chrysler passing playbook.
And let's take that touchdown throw to Pittman and sync it up with the quarterback and the inside receiver where Pittman is right here. He runs the seam. The strong safety goes out underneath the out, hits it right on the seam. You're supposed to run that ball right on the seam. Vince Young knows nobody going to catch him. And I am the man right now. He turns around and says, can't stop me.
That is the truth. Second down. Malani short of the first down.
Now this usually happens with a quarterback, but Vince Young out of the 388 yards is over 300 himself. 226 passing and 44 yards. He's closing in on 300 yards, running and throwing the ball today. Let's go back to Hodges' cramps that Jack has been talking about. The because you're a quarterback, you get those cramps in the legs. Don't think that doesn't mean anything. Those legs are what give you your throws as a quarterback. You start taking those legs out, all quarterbacks will tell you, you lose your knees, you can't throw anymore.
In trouble. Sacked at the 23-yard line by Eric Foreman. The reserve linebacker, number 21, bringing him down.
There it is. Coming right up from here. Foreman is the outside linebacker. This time comes with a 5-man rush to the outside. Nobody picks him up. Hodges should have thrown hot on the play. Doesn't do it. And Mike Leach is going to be forced to punt the ball.
So on 3rd and 1, that sack cost the Red Raiders 11 yards. And it was only the second sack of Hodges today. Reyes back to punt. Remember, he had the one blocked by Griffin. Whistle before he punted.
You go back to that the legs again, Brent. Somebody, you and I don't know him probably as well as you, but remember Joe Namath, when his legs went, he just could not throw the football anymore. And that's not what, Cody, it's not it's major career thing, but when you get hit on those legs during the game, you just lose all your strength throwing the football.
Jason White was never
absolutely
the same after those knee injuries at Oklahoma. That's a delay of game on Texas Tech.
And when you're getting hurt like that and your legs are hurting and you're aching, you make bad mental decisions. 3rd and 1, you definitely got to throw that football away.
Gets this one off. High bounce fielded by Cosby, the one-time baseball player. And he'll go down at the 44-yard line. Well, tonight, I alluded to it, and I know we're not on up there, and we will see them next week. But I really am disappointed in your alma mater. I told you I thought Purdue was going to make a run this year.
He had all 11 starters back on defense, and to be rated in the hundreds in total defense in college football is shocking, isn't it?
It really is.
And we know Brock Spack and Joe Tiller are defensive guys, so that is probably a big shot. Got the tight end. Oh, just a little overthrow.
So that's the second ball he's aimed at him. I know you made reference to that early in the game. He overthrew him.
Yes, you're right. I do remember that now.
Let's check in down below with Jack.
Well, Brent, everywhere here when we've gone in Austin, people have been talking about roses, delivering roses, holding roses, the run for the roses. But for this gentleman, for Vince Young, there are roses tattooed on his arms, not for the Rose Bowl, but for the women in his life. I'll tell you about it after this play.
2nd down and 10. Selvin Young picking his way. Got a couple of yards. Jack, take over.
Well, Vince Young went to the tattoo parlor and had these roses tattooed on his forearm. Let's let Vince tell you who the roses are in dedication to.
This is the rose bush for the women of my life. Starts out with my grandmother, then my mother, sister, then my sister again, then my little niece. That, I mean, they pretty much raised me, and I'm just proud of what they did.
And like I said to you, Jack, you better not marry a woman named Daisy.
Geez, I have a tough time buying roses, let alone getting tattooed roses on my arm.
3rd down. All day. And then he overthrows his target.
Yeah, he didn't have.
So you're telling me that coming back to school wouldn't improve that touch a little bit?
He didn't have a direct path that time, so he tried to lob it over that player and just put a little too much on it.
First punt of the game, you think?
First punt of the game.
Speaking of,
take a good shot at a punter at least, okay?
Here we are, Rich McGee. He's getting stretching here. Holy Toledo! I didn't expect to do any work today.
Take a little time out, let Grandma see me, Grandpa, and everybody else.
He's got a big leg, tall, rangy fella. Amendola's back deep.
Beauty.
Oh, he hung it high, and it's a beauty. Fair catch, right there, 15-yard line. Well, we've talked about the Heisman, and
here we go.
Vince Young is certainly interesting, and Reggie Bush. Now, I'm putting Reggie Bush ahead. He's my choice coming in. Those are the numbers coming in today. Who you want to argue?
Well,
your guy, Vince?
No, I think Reggie's in the lead. I would agree with you there. First of all, it's going to have to take an undefeated team for either of these guys. Like say Texas goes undefeated and USC does it, I think Vince wins it.
I'm going to go with Matt Leinart because of what he pulled off last week against Notre Dame, calling off the spiking of the ball and going into the end zone. Granted, Bush helped him. That, I think, put him in the head of the Heisman race.
Granted, Bush helped him. Are you kidding me, Jack? Here comes Cody Amidala underneath. Tries to slip a defender or two, but he's short of the first down. And Michael Huff, one of those overlooked good defensemen. The one part of Texas that I think we've overlooked a lot, and this goes back to the Ohio State game as well, their defense is an elite defense.
Oh, there's no doubt. They run well. Gene Chizik, I mean, you know, they hired from Auburn, and this guy hasn't lost in a long time. Defensive coordinator goes undefeated at Auburn, comes here, and he's got him undefeated again here. Uh-oh.
First and 10. Falani, as we come to the end of the quarter, they were shocked by the sounding of the cannon boys. Locking and loading in Austin, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. The Horns are on a serious roll on the road to... Now we start the final quarter. Cody Hodges and the Red Raiders. First and 10. Ball on the 29-yard line. Comes back to Henderson, his running back. He's brought down. There's a penalty flag.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit. No doubt about that one.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 79 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And we go to New York to check in with John. Every time you look up, it seems like the Wolverines were involved in an overtime game. First down and 10, coming from behind, going ahead on a Bruston touchdown late. Then Iowa tied that with a field goal and then lost in overtime. Henderson again to the Texas 41-yard line, right near that first down marker there. Another penalty flag thrown back on the 49-yard line.
You can see the signal from the umpire when a player bounces out like that. It's usually holding inside.
Number 75 on the offense.
That is the 9th
penalty from line of scrimmage. Still.
And a Texas player injured, Brown, shaken up on the play. So penalties have really hurt the Red Raiders here today. And Gary, are you shocked by our margin right now with the way Texas is handling Texas? I know you thought the Longhorns would win this game because I asked you that. You thought they'd find a way, but the way they've done it, relatively easy.
Yeah, well, I thought Texas Tech would play a better game. Yeah. I really did. I thought that they're so pattern motivated, they wouldn't make a lot of mistakes. They've made so many mistakes. But the more I watch Texas, Brent, the more I see more and more playmakers all over the football field. Linebacker, safety, corner. There's another one right there. Just plays all over.
By Hicks. On the ricochet, Jared Hicks.
Yeah, Aaron Ross had it, didn't he? He bounced it right to Hicks. Aaron Ross made a great play. He was baiting the throw as the inside corner. He was sunk, goes up, gets it. Could have been gotten by Michael Griffin on the play, and it bounces for the incompleted pass.
A 24-yard gain for the first down. And Henderson's hitting the backfield for a loss as they do not keep the front clean, and Frank Ocam, big number 97, rolls in. Here's your yardage by quarter in this game. Texas Tech put 240 up in the second and could only kick a field goal. 240 yards and could not score a touchdown.
That's when they had the block punt and they had the interception down by the goal line. It really changed the football game.
Second down and 14.
Back-to-back blitzes.
Trying to move the pocket, trying to set the screen, and it will be third down. Well, that ADT National Championship trophy is here. And, Jack, I dare say there's a lot. Bevo will probably try to eat the dang thing. 3rd down and 14. Johnson short of the 1st down. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 4. And look at him licking his chops, huh? Let me at that rascal, Matt Leinart. We'll show you that Reggie Bush. We'll show him a thing or two. That Trojan horse. Ha. Bevo is one of the better mascots. I love Uga, the bulldog down in Georgia between the hedges, but Bevo is one of the better ones.
Let's see if Chiswick in Texas comes after him and stays back. Stays back.
Incomplete.
Good hit.
Incomplete. Ball goes over on downs to the Longhorns. There's Chiswick. He's standing up. That is Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, sitting there with the glasses on, getting ready to help out with the play calling here. And of course, his father is an old football guy. Take a look at this.
Watch the left side of your screen here. Cedric Griffin, number 8. We haven't called him much. He's the one that comes into the picture just as the ball's being bobbled and makes sure that it can't be caught. Big hit. Remember, you must still be physical against a finesse offense. That's what Gene told us yesterday. Always be physical.
I want to continue that story about Greg Davis's father because it's cute. A year ago, they were going over to play Texas Tech, and Pops always calls Greg. I think it's Thursday, and he stopped. Now, son, I want you to tell number 10. I want you to tell Vince now. Just take off. Just get it upfield and run it right into. He's such a great runner. You rely on him as a runner. Greg's okay, Pops. So this year he was talking to him, and he says, "Now, Greg, you've got to stress to number 10. Stay in that pocket.
Hey,
throw the ball. You're really
it's your job. Stay throw the ball. He's got a great arm." It's the tip of the iceberg of that kind of advice to play callers, isn't it?
Isn't it something?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's a play caller, aren't they?
You know,
That's part of the great
I was
love
going
of
to say
football.
that. There's 2 things I've noticed. Everybody can call plays, and everybody can design a golf course.
It's
you know
true.
that? When they play golf, they always know how to change the holes some way to make it better.
Isn't that true?
Yep.
Oh. Speaking of that, we certainly, I know we're on the air down in Florida. They had a game that was canceled down there, Miami, Georgia Tech. And, we wish all of you nothing but the best. We hope that that Hurricane peters out as it comes across and doesn't do any serious damage. I know, Gary, you got a place in Naples.
Yep.
You're concerned. We are over in Jupiter. We just don't know the path of those things. We haven't seen much since we came to the ballpark, but maybe it'll slow down a little bit. 3rd down. Here's Vince Young. Batted away from Pittman, and that was a fine play by Chris Parker, who intercepted Vince Young back in the 1st quarter.
Ball kind of hung out that time. I felt if that ball could have been thrown a little harder to the outside, it allowed Parker to close on the football. It needed to be fired out there.
So time permitting, the thrifty Car Rental postgame report. I'm tempted to say time permitting, stay tuned for your prime time lineup. It's what time is it here? It's 5:40 right now.
Another beautiful punt.
So McGee getting a little leg work here in the 4th quarter, and caught by Amendola to the 40-yard line. When you get to be 4 touchdowns ahead, you should run the clock during timeouts like we've got right here. Texas is looking for its first Big 12 title since 1996. But beyond that, its first undisputed national championship since 1969. And Mac Brown's motto is take dead aim. And they did right there. It'll be 2nd down. And Gary, our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, it started off slow for Texas, but they found their groove. Vince Young threw a couple of early picks, but when he found it, he started ripping strikes in there. This one to Pittman, a beautiful play, and it's been a pounding. The pass offense for Texas Tech has worked, and they put yards up, but it hasn't been easy. Selvin Young is really the guy that's broken out in this football game and made a lot of impressive runs.
Agreed. Helmets flying. Picked up. And a defensive touchdown by Tim Crowder.
The official called him down, Brent. The official called him down. Just as he was letting go of the ball, he shifted it into his left hand, and he called it down.
He's right there at the spot.
Watch, it's in his left hand. In the grass, the Robeson, I guess it is, got him. And, oh boy. Guess they called it forward progress. It's the only thing that could have been.
Absolutely.
The only thing it could have been is his forward progress, but I thought he, in reality, was bobbling the ball when he lost his forward progress. It's a tough call.
We'd have a big rhubarb if this was a close
absolutely,
game.
Absolutely. And there's nothing you do. It's not reviewable. That play holds.
That's
the
right.
Texas now, look, the Texas bench is confused now. They want a review of this play, but it's not reviewable because the whistle blew.
Can't review it. And so Hodges is back.
He's going to get hit again. Oh, boy.
Down at the 36-yard line. This is a very hard-hitting defense. Michael Griffin. The crowd, of course, is still upset. But in fairness to the officials, you do want to protect quarterbacks.
Yeah, I wish they would. I've been a strong advocate that college football does not protect their quarterbacks as well as the NFL does, and I think that's something that they should do a better job of.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Leach doesn't put Graham Harrell, his freshman quarterback, very good prospect, into the football game. Now, this game's over. You got to get him some snaps.
Aaron Ross in to return this punt. This one's a beauty.
Boy, Mike Leach would have given anything for a punt like that.
And Aaron Ross to the 32-yard line. So we will take a break. The crowd's still upset. The BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. Texas rolling over Texas Tech 45-17, and that Red Raider wants to get out of Dodge. First down and 10, 9:25 remaining. Carter. And he is out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Nazir Rudin. And how about the passing chart for number 10?
Well, Vince has not had a statistically overwhelming football game with high completion marks and things, but when he has been able to throw the ball, he's been successful for it. And these were the two big ones, obviously. The one into the corner of the end zone, and then one right down the seam when he just kind of ripped that Tech defense apart with just incredible throws.
Inside run, and Vermont's Taylor, number 11. He is a running back as well as a wide receiver. They move him all around the field.
I think this should probably be the last series we'll see Vince Young in this football game also, to tell you the truth. Can't really afford to get that guy nicked, and even the play calling in this situation should be very, very conservative for your quarterback.
Yeah, I think Greg is just working away on the clock.
Working the clock.
Try to keep it running now.
I think we'll see both backup quarterbacks next series. You probably could make an argument that Texas could have gone with them this series.
Incomplete. Can't connect with the tight end. And the tight end, of course, is from Lubbock. And he grew up a Longhorn fan over there. And a lot of folks, when they did upset him a couple years back over in Lubbock, they got on David Thomas about that. But he was from that area and said he saw an awful lot of Red Raider games. He'd go to him wearing his orange T-shirt. And very happy that he came here. And he's a good tight end. He's one of the best they've had here in the program in Austin. There's Taylor again. He stepped out of bounds at midfield. Clock stops at 8:44. We remind you that tomorrow well, we have seen Texas in a dogfight in Columbus, Ohio. We have seen them in a rout here in Austin, and you and I have to be impressed with what we've seen with this team.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you. Looking at the rest of their schedule right there, the only game I think they have a chance of really being challenged is Texas A&M, because it's such an emotional football game.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, right now, I'll tell you, there was a coach on the sideline, Mac Brown, that was just praying that Vince Young didn't get hit and hurt on that play right there.
And our IBM Star Watch this game today. Certainly no surprise who is star number 1. 12 of 22. Not as good a day passing as a week ago, but he does have those 3 touchdowns, 2 passing and 1 rushing, and McGee trotting onto the field again.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I mean, I'm telling you, Mac Brown, even if he wanted to go to it, when he saw Vince run that ball, you got all those athletes flying around, somebody take a cheap shot at him, your undefeated season could go up in a whisper.
Amendola runs it down inside the 10 with a fair catch. Well, there were 6 consecutive TDs for the Horns. Now 3 consecutive punts. Thank you, Mr. Georgiou. We've got to talk to the BCS Spotlight game presented by ADT. And the spotlight shining ever so brightly on these Texas Longhorns. They're ranked number 2 in hot pursuit of USC. The BCS championship game will be played in the Rose Bowl this year. Complete to the 22-yard line, Robert Johnson.
But
here is our Dr. Pepper Big 12 update, and Missouri with a chance now to capture the North title. Texas A&M, speaking of the Aggies, they rally, beat Kansas State by 2. Iowa State, they're still in the running too. Colorado will go later against Kansas. So that's a pretty wide open chase with that loss by Nebraska against Missouri. Henderson put it down. And it is 1st and 10 for the Horns. There is Griffin recovering the ball. Michael Griffin comes up with this one.
yeah, this is another one of those plays, though. Texas Tech can't be playing this type of football game caused and gotten by the same guy.
Yep.
Michael Griffin caused it, bounced right back to him, and he fell on it. You know, interestingly, when we talked to Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, he said our goal is to get 80% of what happened before, and that's right where they're at in this football game. Yeah, Vince still out there. That's why I don't coach for $2 million a year, I guess, right?
Handed it off. And now they're starting to bring in the substitutes here. As Obanaya, the redshirt freshman from Missouri City, Texas.
You look at the difference. That's that defense. And remember, we talked to Gene. He said we'd like to hold them to 80% of their yearly average. Well, 80% of their yearly average would be 458, and they're at 447. That's a pretty good call, isn't it?
Yep, that's the backup quarterback there who was talking to Cody. That's Harrell. Well, he didn't have his helmet on either. 6:40 to go. Slashing to the right. Touchdown, Texas. Obanaya out of Missouri City, Texas, takes it 22 yards.
Well, not much can happen to your quarterback when you're just handing off isolation plays right here. This ball just bounced outside. That offensive line does a good job of cleaning it. And another one of those Texas recruits hiding on the bench. Guys all over this bench and football team that are very, very talented.
David Pino. And it's 52-17. Lubbock, it was 51-21, Texas winning. And everybody felt that this was a much stronger Red Raider team, but they have not shown it. And Woods picks up the bobble. There's another penalty flag, which has been thrown, and if that's against Texas Tech, that would be the 10th penalty of the game against them.
Just to me, just up one weight class too high for Texas Tech in this football game. And I think they can run the table the rest of the way. I think they can. But this one weight class, they just doesn't look to me like they can handle.
First down.
College football on ABC is brought to you by Hummer. Check out. Hodges moving up under center with Henderson behind him. Down at the 4-yard line. The 4th time that he's been sacked today. That one by Brian Robinson.
You know, Brian Robinson has had a good football game. He's been knocking down passes, running quarterbacks down from behind, getting in on screen plays, sacking the quarterback. He's really been a force all day at his outside defensive end, linebacker position. He's a little bit of each, and that time he just overpowers Big Gabe Hall that time, number 78. He gets in there for the sack. I don't think Hodges has been the same all this second half. His legs, he's got no legs.
Safety Michael Huff and the defense doing their job again. And we asked Huff, what is unique about the Texas Longhorn defense?
I think we have a lot of, stars on defense, but it's just the role players that, they're equally successful at what we do, and we don't have any, just people that just are selfish, and we all just play as a team.
Yeah, they do meet you at the pass.
Yeah, and Brian Robinson is a perfect example of a role player that has made plays in this football game. Nobody goes into a football game saying we have to block Brian Robinson, and look at the number of plays he made today.
Can't find a man. Sacked again.
That's great coverage.
So the toll mounts as number 80, Tim Crowder, closes in. So we're coming to the top of the hour. For Gary Danielson and Jack of Root, I'm Brad Musburger. This is a Big 12 showdown between what was 2 unbeaten. But Texas is putting a licking on Texas Tech here today. It is 52-17. And Texas Tech's high-powered passing attack has thrown here for 338 yards after hitting 643 a week ago. Reyes backed up, low returnable kick. Cosby, the baseball player, takes it on the hop. Great speed to the 23-yard line.
Cosby, just a freshman, will be an impact player as a wide receiver before he leaves here. .355, and Matt Nordgren has replaced Vince Young.
So Vince Young's workday is finished. 12 of 22, 239. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He also ran 7 times for 45 yards and another touchdown. So the Heisman Trophy candidate takes a seat, and the senior from Dallas, Matt Nordgren, who holds for the place kicks, hands it off to number 3, Abaya, the redshirt freshman who moments ago scored his first touchdown of the season. 22 yards. Anvaraya took it, and here Nordgren, you can see, 7th game. He's thrown only 7 passes in his final year. A very capable holder for Pino on the kicking team, and it will be 2nd down with 3:28 to go before Texas moves officially to 7-0. This was the first time that they have done that under Mack Brown. Pounding straight ahead with the big fella Henry Melton, the 270-pound running back.
You know, Brent, a lot of times people ask me, as I've been doing this on radio shows and stuff, why can't Mack win the big game? You know, why is it? What's keeping him from doing it? He's got a lot of talent. You know what? I think he's never had, I think players win big games. Coaches make programs. Mack has made a program here. He finally has a quarterback, a player that wins big games for him and Vince Young. And I think that's the little difference right here, and why this team, the Rose Bowl last year, and why Mack is winning those big games now.
Here's Melton again, and Gary, I second that, and all of us here. We'd like to thank both of the sports information directors who've helped us. Chris Cook out Lubbock Way at Texas Tech does a fine job, and John Bianco from the University of Texas. It's always great to come here to Austin, Texas.
Well, we talked about what Texas had to do in the game plan, and that was stay balanced, and they did do that. They ran for 200 yards, threw for 200 yards, tackle, and you know, that has been, that tackle, that is more than just sacks. I mean, they have been all over the football field hitting players, and that is measured in yak yards, because even though Texas Tech has tried to put the screens on them and do different things, there has not been a lot of space. Pretty complete football game.
What a hit by the big fella. Jared Williams coming in, but I think Dwayne Slay was also in there along with Williams, and Mac Brown taking the air out on 4th down. Just ran it right straight ahead with Melton just to keep working on the clock. We're inside of 2 minutes here.
That was a decleater. That one knocked him right off his cleats on that one, right in midair. And no switch at quarterback from Texas Tech. I mean, one of the things that you will have to say about, you know, Cody Hodges, he's waited 5 years to play here. He's a 5th-year senior. Maybe Mike Leach says, you know, Harold, you're going to have a lot of time to play. We're going to let Cody have all the snaps.
Flanker screen is dropped. I don't believe that was a lateral. No,
Nope.
it was incomplete. There's a signal from the official. I didn't think he threw it behind him. Well, a lot of fellows now seeing some playing time on both sides of the balls. We bring down the curtain on what has to be a very disappointing performance. I'm sure that in the back of the Texas Tech fans' mind, okay, we could lose over in Austin, but let's go down with guns blazing. Let's come on and impress everybody, and this has not been an impressive performance, unfortunately for them.
However, I think it will be quickly forgotten if they can finish the season the right way. You know, if I was a Texas Tech fan, I would say, okay, Texas got a special team this year. I mean, we're better, but Texas is better too than what we played in the past. Let's see if we can finish off this season. One loss, that would be an extremely successful season for Texas Tech.
Well, here's our Chevrolet players of the game. Now, obviously, we could go with number 10, but Selvin Young of Texas, the best performance yet since that major knee surgery. And Torian Henderson, the powerful running back from Texas Tech, and in recognition of their effort, Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Coming in number 8, Joel Falani. And Falani against many of the third unit defenders nearly at midfield.
And if you're used to watching a Mike Leach offense, that's what it usually looks like. 5 or 6 yard throw, catch it, go another 15, 18 yards, and there's space all over the football field. That's why Texas did such a great job of knowing their assignments. Remember we went those 10 absolutes early in the game? Texas did it just perfectly. They aligned all day, they communicated, they tackled, they really followed the game plan.
So there will be a shake-up in at least part of the BCS rankings. Texas Tech came in number 7. They'll be in a free fall after this loss, 52-17. That would allow, if they win, Miami. Of course, they're off. That game was postponed. You would expect them to slip up. LSU has got that tough game tonight against Auburn. To stay in that 6th spot, they're going to have to win. Southern Cal and Texas, of course, will still be running 1-2. From behind, sacked again for the 6th time in this game. Eric Hall takes him down. So the Longhorns have won again. The celebration is underway. ABC Sports online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Monday night, the Jets go to Atlanta. A Monday night football at 9 Eastern. Once again, final score 52-17. The Horns. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television. Proud